I just kind of felt that really the service levels weren't ticking every box, and in the end I kind of had to just leave an employed role, which obviously gave my wife a complete heart attack as to how we were going to pay the mortgage and feed the children. And I sort of just worked out as I went.
Actually, now that the way you've just described all of that kind of makes sense, how you're always trying to do right by the customer. Seems like that's heavily influenced that. Would you agree?
Completely. We can do all the nice like fluffy bits on Basecamp and intros and this, that and the other, but the customers only come to us for one thing, which is performance.
Hi there, and welcome to the latest episode of Director's Debrief. We have another guest for you today, Raife Wieland, founder of Promote Online. As you may have noticed, I use these episodes to draw lessons from entrepreneurs to help us on our journey here at WP. I've learned incredible things from every guest. With Raife, the lesson that I learned was the importance of doing the right thing. It was so refreshing to speak to somebody who's obviously very driven and very motivated, but far more focused on doing right by his clients. It's why he started his business and how he's growing it. Ultimately, his business is built on referrals, and you just can't do that without honesty and integrity. I've had the privilege of working with Raife on various projects for over 2 years now, so I can vouch personally that his words echo his actions. I hope you enjoyed this genuine conversation as much as I did. Let's dive in. Hi there, welcome to Director's Debrief. Today we're joined by Raifes Wieland. Did I say that right?
No.
Okay, I'm very sorry.
It's alright, Sam. It's Wieland.
Wieland.
Yeah, pleasure to be here. Avid listener to the pod.
Yeah, it's so nice to hear that. And we've been working together, I want to say like 2 years, coming up to 2 years?
Probably 2 years, maybe, maybe more.
First time meeting in the flesh.
I know, crazy. COVID's changed the game.
It has. Finally able to. I recently learned this as well. We had one of the first. We've been working with a client for like 7 or 8 years. One of their marketing managers came down, and I was like, I did not realize how tall you are.
That's mad.
You don't get a gauge for that on Zoom.
Yeah.
But do you want to give a quick introduction about who you are, what you do, and what your business does?
Yeah. So I'm Raifes Wieland. I'm the director and founder of Promote Online. Which is a full-service digital marketing agency in Bristol, servicing the whole of the UK. I've been in marketing, advertising probably for 25 years, showing my age. Coming from a directories background, sales, directories, and then obviously when Google came along, kind of got involved in that. Worked for a few different agencies, and in the end, had to bite the bullet and create my own business, because I felt the service delivery wasn't particularly good.
So that's what I'm curious about. What drove you to start your own agency?
Probably, to be honest, just born out of frustration. I worked for sort of 2 or 3 different agencies. A lot of clients have worked with me from directory sales, like Yellow Pages, who have now spending money on Google Ads, SEO. But I just kind of felt that really the service levels weren't ticking every box, and in the end I kind of had to just leave an employed role, which obviously gave my wife a complete heart attack as to how we were going to pay the mortgage and feed the children. And I sort of just worked out as I went.
Can I just ask that?
Of course.
When you started your business, did you have kids?
Yes.
Or was this How did you deal with that? Because that's starting your own business is a heavy enough burden on its own, and then you add the layers of those layers of responsibility to it. How did you sort of overcome that? That's quite a difficult thing.
I just kind of completely winged it, to be honest. I had no real business plan. I haven't even now to this day. Really, we haven't got a proper business plan. We've kind of focused more on processes. And streamlining that rather than goals. I've never really been one to forecast. I've been in roles where I've been asked to give a forecast, and it doesn't really matter if the clients sign up, then great. If they don't, it's kind of a bit of a waste of time. So I walked away from a role. My business partner Amy shortly followed and joined me at Promote Online. We did take investment at the time, which kind of helped us scale in the fact that we could take on staff, offices, etc. But again, didn't really take us in the direction that we would have wanted. So again, first lockdown, I think it was, we brought the investors out, and it's been the best thing we've done. And then we've just sort of trusted our judgment by doing things in reverse than what a lot of other agencies do.
Yeah, I like the process element, because that's actually something that I've noted to Ash when we've worked together on a project, is that I'm added into Basecamp. Everybody seems to know what they're doing. People come in from left, right. You've got like 8 people in there. People flying left, right, and center. This has been activated. This has been set up. Can you talk me through this? I'm curious about the start, and what were some of the struggles in the beginning of creating those processes? What led you to become what I would imagine is an efficient machine now?
Yeah, I think there's always challenges in processes, and I don't think they're ever finished.
No.
The challenges for me is I'm a bit obsessed with everything and want to review everything and want the clients answered like within 24 hours at the very least.
Yeah.
But we'll probably bring that kind of target down in time. And I just want to deliver something that any new business that comes to us is kind of blown away in the first few weeks just about how we understand their business.
Yeah.
Take time to question and challenge them, because I don't think many agencies do that.
Yeah.
They kind of take the money, let it run. If it works, great. If it doesn't, well, another one will come along, kind of thing, where I've never really had that plan. I've always thought, if we bring on 2 new clients this month, I want to retain those clients, grow those clients, rather than thinking I can bring 5 on but lose 3. I'm too old to doing all that.
Cool. And on that topic, something I really like on your website is that you say you're an agency built on referrals. It's something that, we've enjoyed the luxury of. We've referred clients to you. You've referred clients onto us. And it's something that I can tell, like, you post certain screenshots of like clients saying thank you for X, Y, and Z. You're very proud of that, even at the top. So walk me through that. What does that mean to you, and why choose that route? Why focus on referrals?
It's just kind of, I've always thought we do need this kind of marketing machine and pushing our brand, but we've never really got to that stage. We're sort of 4 years in and the business is still growing. I do take immense pride on delivering results for our clients. Again, our team will probably say it's a bit cringy, but I always kind of push, we spend the client's money like it's our own. Yeah. And I think when you get to that stage, and I am pretty much accessible 24/7, most of our clients will send me WhatsApps majority of the time about good things, which is great. Yeah, I think everything is about results. Yeah. But to kind of answer the question about process, a lot of it's been trial and error. We've created a role like Tony, who's our client delivery manager. She's been with us from the beginning. Okay. She used to directly manage probably 20 clients, where now she's kind of taken a more advanced, more sort of senior role, where she just manages the client relations. Okay. So she'll oversee the onboarding, make sure our analysts, our tech people are doing what they should be doing, make sure that the client is really fully aligned to the sort of strategy and the goal. Yeah. And then she's also taken a lot on about the processes. Does the client complete a media brief? When do they set up tracking? What are the key goals that need to be tracked? How do we communicate that back? And that's been really, really good and has helped us grow.
That's incredible. And what I was also kind of keen to learn is you worked for a while selling ad services. Like you say, you came from directory sales, then a few digital agencies, and then setting up your own business. How do you think a career in like sales has helped you in setting up your own business?
I think like I left school with kind of no education at all. Okay. So I know a lot of people who come on these kind of podcasts have, various degrees and this, that and the other. I left school with pretty much no like grades. Okay. And no real clue into what I was going to do. So I kind of fell into a telesales role, which funnily enough is where I met Amy, my now business partner. Okay. I actually trained her in sales and she's kind of followed me around for all her sins.
Yeah.
But no, I think it kind of really gave me something that I was able to kind of mirror clients very well, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed the selling element.
Okay.
But then after a short period of time, I kind of wanted to deliver more tangible results for customers.
Yeah.
Where at the time I was sort of selling into sort of cinema magazines and this, that and the other, which was nobody really knew whether it kind of affected the client's kind of returns.
Okay.
So at that time I made the jump to go and work for Yellow Pages, where at the time that worked amazingly well.
Yeah.
A well-designed ad in the Yellow Pages directory did work really well.
Yeah.
But then when Google came along, I think I kind of got a bit complacent, didn't think Google would catch on. So I needed to then make the move into digital.
Yeah.
I knew a few people who worked in that kind of space, and what I liked about it was the fact that you could really show a customer how many leads that they get from activity. And now, even with the technology, now we've gone even further than that, where it's not about traffic, it's more about tangible leads and return. Yeah.
It's funny you mentioned that about the Yellow Pages, because I remember years and years ago trying to sell my dad's car on Auto Trader, and all it took was a little square piece in their magazine, and you could sell that car in 2 to 3 days. Yeah. And then I did the same months later after their website went live, and I set it all up on the website. Right. But they said, do you want it on the magazine, or do you want it magazine and online? And I chose just the magazine the second time round, and I got no phone calls. Nice. It's crazy to think how quickly the world just transitioned. To like, we're ready to go online now. Yeah. And sort of in your journey, what's been in setting up this company, Promote Online, what's been some of the hardest parts of that? What have the hardest lessons been to learn?
I think the key thing is, at the beginning, I didn't really believe that I could run a business, and always felt that I needed, some kind of mentor or someone to kind of make the big decisions. Where I think now we kind of know that I can run the company. Yeah. Amy's a great support. I think having good people around you is vital. And really, the decisions I've made in the last 4 years at Promote Online, I probably would have made the same decisions 10 years ago if I had set up. Which basically, a lot of that is about doing the right thing by the customer. Yeah. Challenging the customer. If something's not working, get to the customer first. Yeah. And really show that you care about the return. And I think that buys a lot of time with a client. Yeah.
I suppose at this given day, or maybe in the past, is there anything that kind of has kept you up at night when running this business, or is there anything that's...
Always.
Always?
Yeah. I think the last sort of 18 months have been the best 18 months for us.
Amazing.
The growth of the business is, again, touch wood, ahead of where we probably would have ever thought it would have been. Yeah. But then there's always things that keep you up. And I'd say I love what we do 98% of the time. But there's always that 2%. There's always that one person who isn't happy for whatever reason, or there's a process that isn't quite right. Yeah. Or there's just something kind of hanging over you. I'll think about, has that customer been replied to on Basecamp within 24 hours? Yeah. And I wake up thinking about this, and that's just the way I've always been. I think sometimes to really push a company, you've got to be really obsessed with the returns for the customers. Yeah. And it's not really been about money. It's not really been about how many clients we can win. Yeah. It's just been about, we just want to deliver good digital marketing, because I don't think I've been able to do that in any other previous role. So that probably does make me unemployable now. Yeah. So here we are, and we need to make it happen, which we are doing. Yeah. And coming back to referrals, we get referrals every month from clients that trust us, partners that trust us. And equally, we're not, if there's something that we're not totally skilled in, I'll probably know someone within my network that can deliver. But like, obviously the likes of you guys with Amazon and things like that, absolutely flying. So I think that's the key things.
It's funny about how you're talking about being sort of obsessive in a business. I had to catch myself, and Ash is really good at calming me down when things like this happen. I don't let any of the team know it, but I'll sometimes find him in here and just have a bit of a whinge, because I went out into the warehouse and I saw something. Something hadn't been done. And in my mind, I was 6 steps ahead. And I was like, this will lead to that, which will lead to that, which will lead to that. And that's a terrible problem. 100%. I'll tell Ash, and he'll go, but none of this has happened yet. You need to calm down.
Yeah, and none of those problems do happen.
Exactly.
But you're still worried about it.
Yeah.
And I still, definitely walk in those steps all the time. But I think since COVID, now that we're working remotely probably 90% of the time, rarely do we all get together as a collective team. But that's enabled me to kind of, whereas before I might make snap decisions or send an email quickly, I'll now think, right, I'll walk the dog in the morning, hour and a half, then I'll come back to that email or that situation. 9 times out of 10, a bit like what you're saying, that situation's never happened or has already been done. Everything's been dealt with, not an issue. But if it does need action, I'm a lot more calm in my own mind rather than just replying a mad email straight away, which obviously doesn't end well.
No, I need to work on that for sure. I need to get a dog is what I need to do.
It's good. Get the steps in.
So actually, it's interesting that you mentioned COVID. How do you feel like your business changed throughout that pandemic? Because you've been on 4 years?
Yeah.
So about 2 years in, some of the core years, and then boom, pandemic.
Yeah, a big change when COVID came. Obviously, I brought the investor out then. Right. So took full control of the company. Yeah. I think the company was kind of described as a bit of a toss of a coin business, so we didn't really know whether it was going to fly. Yeah. And then obviously with COVID hitting, I probably had 20 or 40 phone calls from business owners that just wanted to stop all their marketing. And at the time, we made the judgment call that that's the right thing to do. Now, obviously, we didn't know how we were going to pay wages. Yeah. And in fairness, the government support with furlough and everything else did help. But then probably, I don't know the time scales, but I think COVID did make a lot of businesses realise that they'd need to have a strong digital presence and ways of working could change. And really modern working now, like I see these things online from people that, want everyone in the office every day. I just think it's so backward. We're a lot more productive than we've ever been. Going back to sort of directory sales, for example, when I was working on in field sales, I'd drive around, see 10 customers a week. Obviously all the pollution to the environment, everything else with the car, where now I can see 6 or 7 clients in a day over Zoom. And it's just a lot more productive. Do you think you lost any? Do you have many of the same people working for you now as you did back then? Yeah, I think we lost one person who was she was younger, probably didn't need the office environment, and she had a great opportunity to go and work for a London-based company, different sector. But again, I've always sort of said to her, doors always open if she did want to work remotely. But we've kind of got people now who are comfortable working from home, children, dogs, this, that and the other. And I remember at the beginning of the stage where we decided to give up our large office, and it was kind of just thought, well, we can save on travel. People with children can save on childcare. Lockdown dogs became a thing. They're all still there. They haven't been given up. And also now, even as we're looking to recruit early next year, it just casts a net, and a lot of people do want to work. Well, you've been in Budapest. So we did a Zoom, and you're in Budapest. It's like that's the way. That's the modern way. I think you've got to really trust the people who work for you. But with what we do, we can see when people are online, we can see what actions have been done. And again, to be honest, if clients are happy, if our technical guys work 3 hours a day and their clients set happy, I'm happy. I'm never going to be sort of, oh, you weren't online at 9, or or someone emailing ask if they can go to the dentist at 4, that sort of stuff. No.
Yeah.
We're a modern business in that sense.
Yeah. No, I like that. That's something that I've really had to adapt, because I come from a long background of retail.
Yeah.
And again, just like John Lewis, high expectation retail of like, you're only on time if you're early.
Yeah.
If you're actually on time, then forget about it. You're marked as late.
Yeah.
And I used to be exactly the same everywhere I went. And I worked in management in retail, and I would get penalized if my team was late. And I used to fret so much over it here. And then ultimately I realized, now obviously you've met Harvey, he's managing the warehouse now, so he manages that team, and I have other people that it's funny, this happened recently where we have somebody who works for us who's actually based abroad. Wow. And I've just noticed that like her Slack, she hadn't been on her Slack in ages, and then she sent me a message saying, "Hi, I completed this task." And it was one of the hardest things I think it was it was literally to change a title on Amazon, but it was locked under so many different like protocols, and Amazon has like trademarking issues, so they don't just let you do that. And she got back to me and said, "Oh, I've changed it." And I couldn't care less about the Slack anymore. Yeah. It was a miracle what she'd done. I was like, do you know what? Take the time you need to actually figure that out.
That's it. It's about the end result is the key. But I know a lot of businesses are still kind of a bit backward in that sense, I think.
So I wanted to very quickly ask you about, not even quickly, but curious about your motivations. So we've touched on the fact that you didn't feel like certain companies you worked for were serving the clients in the right way. Yeah. Are there any other factors, any personal factors that you feel like drive you to push this business forward?
I think we kind of always talk about doing the right thing by the client. Yeah. And I think that's the biggest thing. It's not, whereas, even going back to sort of directory sales, people would sort of sell to targets rather than kind of customer needs. So, drivers for me, I think doing the right thing, and that is really important. And little things, really, really do hit home with clients, especially clients who have come from a bad experience at another agency. Yeah,
which is quite common.
which is really common. Yeah, little things. Even if you've got underspend on an account, speak with the client and either give them the option that we refund that money back to them, or we spend more the following month. Yeah, where that sort of thing doesn't happen in a lot of other agencies, which is madness. Yeah.
Am I allowed to? We'll edit this out if you don't. Am I allowed to ask what happens if nobody mentions it?
Well, who knows?
Who knows? Okay, yeah.
Who knows where that money goes? Yeah. Which again, I think I've sort of moved around, looking for the agency that would kind of give me the kind of career and future. And I never really went out and thought, I'm going to run a business. I listened to the podcast and other podcasts as well, and you think those people are just born to run businesses. Yeah. I wasn't born to run a business. Promote Online really was born out of frustration about not being able to deliver for the customer. Yeah. So I felt, no, I need to step away from it, use my network, pull good people together, and really deliver something genuinely good. Yeah. And it's that, purpose, doing the right thing. Obviously, company growth and things like that is fantastic. But I still get a lot more satisfaction from a WhatsApp message from a customer saying, had our best day ever, had our best month. Those sorts of things, you can't buy.
Yeah. What about on a personal level? Are there any goals that you're aiming to hit, and sort of what drives you beyond that?
No, not really. I think we've kind of got to that stage now where we need to recruit more. Yeah. So it's never been, we want sort of 500 customers. We want to get to a stage where we just want to deliver for a select group of customers. Yeah. And again, probably like-minded customers. I think where at the beginning you kind of wanted to work with any customer that wanted or needed digital marketing, but those relationships don't really work. I think you need to have a like-minded team who are really kind of on the same journey with the same kind of values as I am, which they all are. But then the more and more we bring on more customers, there's definitely a like-minded element.
Yeah.
So I think that's important. I think just delivering good, honest service is a big driver. But personally, I've taken so much satisfaction and pride from what we've done, and I've gone through my career maybe in definitely phases throughout setting the business up of kind of trusting people that maybe I shouldn't have trusted.
Okay.
But now I kind of at that stage where the key decisions rest with us. Yeah. We make those key decisions, and the last sort of 18 months, 2 years, I don't think we've made too many bad ones.
And how just out of curiosity, how do you make those decisions?
I think 9 times out of 10, I will kind of know what is the right decision to make, even if it's a difficult decision. Yeah. But that said, I'll always kind of speak with Amy, who's very kind of a lot more logical. I can be quite emotional. Okay. So sometimes my snap decision might be different than what it looks like 24 hours later, dog walk later, whatever. But we all make sort of decisions, collectively, that way. Yeah.
I think I have the same thing with Ash. Like I said, sometimes I'll find him down here or wherever he is. I'm like, I need to vent, and then I need you to tell me if I'm being crazy about this or not. Yeah. And quite often he'll go, "You have the right idea, but not like that. Calm down."
Do you send Ash email drafts of what you're going to send to someone?
I used to, but I started getting. I think humans are very habitual, so I started initially in the beginning as well. We signed on one of the biggest clients we had. And it was the first time where we'd done that, and Ash was too busy dealing with his group of clients. So it was the first big one that I'd taken on. So I started to run a couple by him, and then it just started getting more and more, and he was just like, enough. It's time for you to be a big boy now.
Brilliant.
So not necessarily in that regard, but it's more about like internally here, because I'm always at the biggest problem that could happen. Yeah. So I'll always have to come to him and just go, do you know if this leads to that? And then he'll tell me, no, calm down. None of this has happened. You just need to make sure that's fixed. But yeah, absolutely. In terms of being an entrepreneur, you talk more about your clients, which is probably the secret sauce to being a good entrepreneur. But is there anything that you do to develop your skills as an entrepreneur? Are there any readings you do, listenings, or anything that?
Yeah, even the word entrepreneur, I find a little bit uncomfortable. Yeah, and kind of think, do I class myself as that? Yeah. And 4 years in, maybe I should, but I probably don't. Okay. And sometimes I see stuff online and think, you're not really an entrepreneur, though, are you? Yeah. And I find it a little bit cringy, if you like. I'd like to think I make a difference, and we make a difference to every client or business that we work with. But yeah, I do listen to lots and lots of podcasts. Obviously, your one is just behind Stephen Bartlett's. But no, I listen to. I think again since COVID. Yeah. Audiobooks, listening to stuff, I take a lot of impact from, and that's definitely helped me. And I do learn more through listening than probably not really count on one hand how many actual books I've read.
Yeah, I love podcasts. I struggle with audiobooks though. I struggle to pause. I and like if I come back to it, it's never particularly worked for me. But yeah, podcast has always been a huge one for me.
Yeah. I think if I decide I'm going to do something, I'll commit to it all in. Yeah. And I got to a stage where I was nearly 18 stone.
Okay. Sorry, I'm Swedish. What's that in kilos?
Crikey, I don't know.
Okay, fair enough. That's okay.
Yeah. So I was away on a family holiday. Yeah. And I said to Hayley, my wife, I was going to lose some weight. I'm going to get an exercise bike. She's like, oh, great. That's another expensive clothes horse. But in fairness, I was absolutely obsessed with it.
Yeah.
You know, doing hours on the exercise bike before going to work.
Yeah.
We had a friend's wedding, which I kind of used as a goal to lose the weight.
Yeah.
And then when I went to that wedding, hardly anyone recognised me, which is unbelievable. But I think it does show that if you've got something that you really commit to and you want to do it, you'll put the hard yards in.
Where do you think that comes from? I'm always curious about this. I always feel like I'm fighting a current when I want to try and reach a goal.
I don't know. I think I've always been like, my mum and dad, like we lost my dad when I was probably 25, something like that. So I kind of took on looking after my mum a lot. So I think I kind of, the parent guardian sort of roles kind of reversed.
Right. Okay.
And my mum and dad had a lot of hurt and that in their life. We lost my sister through suicide when I was 19. So I think I grew up a lot during that phase.
Okay.
And I just took responsibility on.
Yeah.
Okay, wasn't great at school and this, that and the other, but I definitely think now in future life, I've kind of just thought, right, well, the buck sort of stops with me. Yeah. Need to get on and do stuff.
Yeah. So, the intense feeling of responsibility and not having anything beyond that, I've always found, I've spoken about this with Ash about how certain decisions I've made have landed me in a place where I'm like, I'm the only person responsible for this. Yeah. Like, I can't say it was because of them or it was that person's fault. Yeah. So when you have that like you are the final stop. Yeah. That can be an incredible motivating factor. Yeah,
definitely.
And how do you think that's shaped you as a person in other ways? Has it influenced how you run your business? Is it
I think it made me grow up a lot faster than at that given time. Yeah. And I remember looking back, like, I took my mum to counselling because I was thinking that she needed it. Yeah. But I came away learning a lot more about the fact that the kind of roles have been reversed. Yeah. And that I needed to look after her. So I think that side of things has really kind of made me just take full accountability on for things. Yeah. I think I'm brutally honest to everybody. Now that's the strength and a weakness,
of course,
in the same time. But I think if you're consistent with people, then you find the people that are gonna like you, follow you, and kind of work with you. Yeah. And the ones that don't, well, if your opinion is your opinion, then people it's better. I think it's better to be straight down the line. Yeah.
Oh, I think, and my friends will tend to say this, but like that layer of, if you're always honest and if you're even in the times of the bad, it adds more weight to the good. I saw this really interesting reel where somebody was saying that, can you imagine if only good things happen to good people? Everyone would always be good. Yeah. Because they'd only do it so good things happen to them. They wouldn't do it just for the sake of good. Actually, now that the way you've just described all of that kind of makes sense, how you're always trying to do right by the customer. Yeah. It seems like that's heavily influenced that. Would you agree?
Oh, completely. We would, as an example, if we audited a prospect's account and felt that the current agency was doing a great job, we would tell that client. Right. And say, look, to be fair, yes, you can come to us, blah, 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 but reality, the current provider is doing a really, really good job. Yeah. I wouldn't ever just take the client and then not move the needle with performance. Yeah.
Have you ever felt like you don't sell enough?
Oh, yeah, I don't really sell.
I was just thinking this, from talking to you now about the business.
It's mad. I've not really cold called anyone. Yeah. Well, I can't really remember the last time. Like, I've got lots of people that I've worked with before that I could reach out to. Yeah. Not really done that. I've kind of had a good network of clients that I've worked with over the years. They're now getting the best kind of return they've ever had. and then in return they tell other business owners.
Yeah.
And then when those kind of referrals come to us, it's not a sell really.
Yeah, I'm just thinking back to the last time you referred someone onto us. It was probably the easiest to convert that client.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing where when we were trying to recommend you guys, it was just like, the reason why I'm saying this with such confidence is because I have a backlog.
Yeah.
Like I can see what these guys do, and it's good. So it is quite nice to sort of operate like that.
Yeah, and that's amazing. And that for me, that's kind of that's the kind of gold really in running a business.
Yeah.
And obviously having spoken with you and Ash today about that sort of partnership, I've passed the referral, not heard anything from the customer.
Yeah.
So you're absolutely smashing it, and so it's everybody wins.
Yeah.
So yeah, we don't. I get a lot of referrals from existing customers. Partnerships like with yourselves are amazing, but again, it is all results driven, and that's. I think the thing is when you're talking about sort of stress and sleepless nights, yes, we can do all the nice like fluffy bits on Basecamp and intros and this, that and the other, but the customers only come to us for one thing, which is performance.
Yeah.
Pound in, pound out, and that's it. And internally, we will always be checking all accounts, having awkward conversations that clients never know about really kind of moving things forward. So yeah, I think performance marketing is fantastic in the fact that yes, clients are really, really grateful, but then at times you will wake up thinking, I hope that customer starts selling X, Y, and Z. And sometimes it doesn't happen for whatever reason. Yeah. But then I'd much prefer to have that conversation with the client rather than the client realise 3 months later, actually it's not working. What have you been doing
for 3 months?
Yeah, exactly.
The one thing I want to know is what's... I've been doing a lot of thinking about Google ads. I think Google... You guys do quite a host of different services, some off Google, but primarily on Google, right?
Yeah.
Where do you think the future of that sort of industry is going, especially with the introduction of things like Performance Max and Google ultimately wanting control is the impression I'm getting?
Yeah. I think on that, Sam, I think, Performance Max for some clients does work really, really well. Right. But then for, especially if you've got e-commerce clients with vast amounts of items, really you need to be able to understand which items are selling at the relevant like return on ad spend. Okay. So Performance Max really is kind of Google's black box. Yeah. They want total control. Now that within that there will be a lot of conversions which maybe come through brand that the client could potentially have anyway through organic if they rank well. With their SEO. So we always kind of have an element of Performance Max, but then we also do pull apart separate shopping campaigns where we can report back to the client in a really, really granular way. I think it does look that way, that Google want to be able for businesses to self-serve. But self-serve doesn't necessarily mean the best performance and the best return on their ad spend. It will be interesting to see really what happens in these next few years. Yeah,
because I was just about that. You kind of either you were able to foresee it, or you made the decision to pivot away from directories to Google. Yeah. Do you currently foresee the need at any point to pivot away from Google, or is that something that you're, at least for the next few years, you're comfortable growing in this direction?
Well, potentially. I think there's more and more. Performance Max is good in the sense that it takes advantage of the whole suite of Google services. Okay. But you're unable to report on it all properly. Yeah. So remarketing campaigns are very, very strong. If you've got good e-commerce clients where they've had relevant traffic but those users haven't brought, then being able to remarket those effectively through multi-channel, so not just Google but YouTube, social media platforms, that kind of that really does kind of make a big difference on returning customers. Okay. The other key thing that we do is understand the lifetime value to the customer. Yeah. a lot of customers will look at Google Ads, Google Shopping, search in kind of isolation. I've spent this much this month.
Yeah.
Has it worked? Yes or no? Where, you know, we've got some clients where we know that a new customer will use that new provider ongoing, multiple times. So even if we straight line ad spend, the actual return for that client is far greater.
Yeah.
And being able to educate the customers to understand that's really, really important.
Yeah.
And then, likewise, to push back and get feedback from the customer all the time, because we can look at, you know, charts and graphs and things. This customer A should be really, really happy.
Yeah.
But then if customer A says, well, actually, it's great you've sold all these products, but the margin on that is really, really small. But the margin on this product is really, really high. But the search demand's a lot lower.
Yeah.
But we do need to be pushing for the high margin products. And you can only do that with, you know, really clear and regular communication with your customers.
This has been a lot of fun, and that 40 minutes kind of flew by for me.
Yeah, very good.
I hope you've enjoyed it as well. It's been
really
great having you.
Really did enjoy it, Sam. Thank you very much.
How can people find you, and how do they find Promote Online?
Yeah, search of promoteonline.co.uk, and also across social media, Instagram, Facebook, etc.
Okay, we'll also leave it in the description to find you.
Awesome.
Thank you very much for your time,
Thank you so
Raif.
much, Sam.
It's been great.
All the best.